All right, so we have this data set here. And then, like I said in the voice note I sent to the class, a table allows you to sort your data, draw quick insights from the same data set. And then it's the point where you start from if you want to create a pivot table. Right, if you want to create a dashboard also, you have to first create a table. All right, so this is the data that we have here. So we have this data here, and all right, so I was saying to convert this to a table, because this is just a regular spreadsheet. To convert this to a table, what you need to do is come to your insert tab here, and then you can see table right here, right? And when you select table, you will see all of these little border here that looks like borders around across the table. You need to make sure that it actually selects all of your data sets. You can see that it's picking it up to this point. And if you scroll down again, it's actually picked everything down to the last data, right? And so you also see that in here, this is the reference for the cells that is selected. All of this. Sometimes this reference is not correct. If it is not correct, what you need to do is to just delete whatever is there. Then go ahead and highlight all of the relevant cells, right? Just click and highlight everything this way and select it, and you can see that it has bring it back again. Now you can see this button here. It's saying my table has headers. So header is the heading for your table, and which is what we have here. For example, here it is saying network used for data subscription, how much you spend on data monthly, and so on and so on. Those are the headers. Sometimes your table do not have headers. If it does not have a header, Excel will create an header for you. So if you don't have a header, make sure that you uncheck this one so that Excel can create an header for you. So, but then since there's a header here, we will leave this one checked, and then you select OK. Now, once we selected OK, this is what we have. So this is our table. Are we all together? Can you all hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
Okay. I hope others can also hear me. And we are all on the same page. We know how we got to this point.
Yes.
Okay. All right. So this, what we have here right now is a table. Now, when you create your table like this, you have this tab here, this new tab here. It is labeled design. Okay, so this is labeled design. It's a design tab. Now, in the design tab, the first thing you have here is the table name. By default, also, you may want to rename your table, especially if you are working with multiple tables. If you are working with multiple tables, you may want to rename it. And if you want to rename it, you just select it and then give it a name, something like data for live class. That's the name of this table. So I can punch enter that way and it is saved. And underneath you have resize table, right? If you want to take out some of these columns or some of these rows, don't want to include them in the table, you will use the resize table option. Right here you can see summarize with pivot table, remove duplicate, convert to range, right? So a table has been set this way. Some data can be duplicates in it, which that's especially if you're working with, if you are trying to clean up your data. If you have duplicates, you can go ahead and select remove duplicate. Now, this other option that says convert to range, that means if you no longer want to use this as a table, you want to revert back to an original spreadsheet or Excel table, that's the default that we had there before, you will actually select convert to range. If you do that, it's going to give you this pop-up then you can select yes. Then you convert it back to a regular Excel table. So we don't want it yet in a range, we'll just leave it this way. Okay, so one of the beauty of using a table is if you have multiple your data comes in. If your data comes in on a rolling basis, and for example, I need to add more columns to this, right? If I need to add more columns to this, I can actually say today's date, or I can name it date. Now, as soon as I name it date, Excel automatically creates a column for me and includes it in the table. Now, this is a new column. Whatever it is that I add to this other, so I can decide to add 20 more columns. It's all going to be added to the table set. And if I go down and add more rows to it, it is also going to be added to the table. I can see, let's pick a name. My name is Timothy. So we can add this. I can see that automatically it has been added to the table again. Let's pick another name. And automatically Excel is adding more rows and columns to our table without we having to do any kind of styling, any kind of formatting. And that's one of the beauty of tables, right? Sometimes you don't want to, you cannot even do all of those things automatically by yourself. You don't want to go through that stress. So making use of a table will help you solve that. Now, if for example, you are going further and you're creating something like a dashboard or a pivot table, when you do something like this, automatically it's supposed to be added to your pivot table. If it's not added, all you need to just do is to refresh your pivot table, and Excel will pick all of this new data and add it to the existing data that you have in your pivot table. But let's proceed. Let's continue from where we are, and we'll go back to our design tab. Now, in the design tab, you all see some of these table styling options here. You can see the header row, total row, banded rows. All right, so I'm just going to explain each of these bit by bit. So the header row is for this header right here. And you can see, you can take it out and you can bring it back in. So we want our header row there. And if you look at this, we don't have a total row below. The total row should give us a total of some of these figures, right? So average cost of transport, you can decide to want to see, I want to know the total of the average cost of transport. Remember in our previous class, we were using the sum function to find the total average cost of transport per week, right? But with a table, you can just go ahead and select the total row, and you can see that the row has been added for us. And you can just select one of these cells and open this. Select the drop down button here and select sum. And it's going to total, give you the total of everything in that column, right? Everything here amounts to 396,500. So if you don't want the sum, you can also select some other things. So give us the average of all of this. And this is the average. So that means averagely we spend 5,217 naira weekly on transport. If we go ahead, you can do the count. You can look for the max. The max here is 35,000. You can just go through all of these other options here and go ahead and select more functions. There are other functions there that you can look out for. So if you notice, this is quite easier. Getting the total from this table is quite easier than doing something like sum, and then you say sum E2 or E5 to E1 million, depending on whatever cells you're looking for. And so that is one of the beauty of working with a table. I do hope we understand this up to this particular point. And so if you have this table like this, okay, so I'm just going to sum a few of these. So let's count how many people are actually here. We have a total of 83 entries here. And then we'll just go ahead and do go back to our design. And you can see the third option here is the banded rows, right? And the banded row is one of the row is darker, the next one is lighter, the other one is darker, and something like that. So you can take it out to give them a uniform fill color or background color, or you can bring it back in to give you something like this. And the same thing with columns. The first column, which is this, you can adjust the design. So by just selecting first column, if you want to make it, if you want to make emphasis to the column, or you can take it all out. The same thing with the last column, and you can also have banded columns this way. So if I have banded columns, maybe I want to take out banded rows, and you can have something like this, depending on whichever way it makes your data presentable to you and to you, your superiors, or to whoever wants to make use of the data. Are we all together?
Yes, Mr. Timothy.
Yes, sir.
Thank you very much. We are together, but I just want to be on the same page with you. I actually did not start immediately with you from the beginning, and
Okay.
as you are teaching us, I am here with my laptop also trying to be tracing some of these futures.
Okay.
Like in my system here, I actually open an Excel sheet,
Okay.
and I can't find where did you get the design whatever. So I'm trying to see if I can create it the way you put you I am seeing it on the screen.
All right.
So how do I go about it?
Do you have the data set opened already?
Okay. Yes, my Excel is open.
There was this data I shared with you, this particular data that we're using, I shared it with you. Do you have it?
No.
Uh,
It's a fresh Excel sheet that nothing is written on it.
okay, so you actually need to open that data. And the one I give people as assignments, I don't know if you have it. Just open one of it, or any of the spreadsheets, any of the data that you have, just open one of them. Then in the data, select the data, then Control+T on your keyboard will give you the table, or you go to Insert tab and select Table, then you'll have your table.
Okay.
Then when you have your table, click inside of the table, you will see the Design tab.
Okay. So it must be that particular data set.
No. It must not be that particular data set. Just any random data set, it's fine.
Okay.
All right, so let's move on from there. Now, in these other options here, you see table style. You can go ahead and select this button beside it. And then when you do that, you can see different style of table here. You can, depending on whatever appeal to you or to who you work for, go ahead and select one of these. And if it doesn't, you can actually also create your own table style. You can create your own table style, but I don't really think you want to go that far. So, but then it's almost the same. If you are creating a table style, for example, give it a name, the name of your table. Then this first one is talking about the general design for the table. If I want the whole table to be okay, so I'm going to select format. Now from this format now, I can select a font for my table. It looks great. Okay. I can select probably a color. If I don't want my table content to be black, I can select a color from here, and I can go ahead and select a border for my table. Now this is going to affect all of the table. If there is a field that's a background color for all the table, go ahead and select it from here. But I don't really want to do that to this table right now, so we're just going to cancel this. Now, you just pick each of these on whichever one you feel we are free to use. So now this header row, this first row here where we have our header, you can also change the design and go ahead and select. When you select header row, go ahead and select format. Select this. You don't know why this font is gray, but then you should be able to select your fonts from here. Select the kind of border you want. Even if you don't want border, go ahead and do that. Your field also, and so on and so forth. That's just how you create your own table from scratch. That is if you don't like all of these options that you have here. But I feel like definitely you will find one or two from this that you will be comfortable with. All right, so this is this about tables, right? And okay, before I forget, right, when you have a table like this, especially if you want to use it for further analysis, right? Especially if you want to create a pivot table, right? If you're using a pivot table, you want to be able to draw some other insights from it. And for example, in the survey that we did, that we got all of this from, you have an option for favorite drink, right? And I think there are 3 options there. We have soft drink, you have beer, we have whiskey. But the question was not compulsory, so a lot of people left it blank. But the truth is, if that is not what you are looking for, you don't want to actually leave this blank, especially in your analysis. You don't want to leave blank spaces. So how do you identify blank spaces from 1,000 rows of data? One of the ways to do that is to come to this button here at the header, select it, and you have a means to filter the data set. So if I say I want to see only those who selected beer as their favorite drink, I'll go ahead and check this and select OK. And then we can see that it is only Oyesola who said his favorite drink is beer. I can go ahead and select it again and say I want to see only those who said soft drink. And I'll go ahead and select OK. Now I have a list of those people who selected soft drink. Right, so these are the list of people who selected soft drink. And when I counted, there are about 74 people. Remember, in this place, we selected counts. 74 people said soft drink is their favorite drink. Let's go ahead and see those who said whiskey. Those who said whiskey, and we say there are a total of 4 people who selected whiskey. A total of 4 people selected whiskey. Now we'll now go ahead and selected those who didn't choose anything. And we have 4 people also who left the column blank. So if you are an analyst and you don't want to see something like this during your data cleanup, this is how to actually look for those who left their column blank. So what you need to do in this case is either to call whoever is responsible for this to fill it out or give you the right information, or probably you have to take it all away by deleting it. At least this way, easily you're able to sort out those who are blank, and or you just find a means to fill in this blank. Now, what I'm saying here is that it is quite easy to sort the blanks than one by one trying to go through all the data that you have and looking for the ones that are blank. And if you observe, as we are sorting it, automatically our figure in the total column is also getting adjusted. Let me do sum here. Let's find the sum here, and the sum is the sum is 396,500. So let's select soft drink again. Sorry, whiskey. Let's take out soft drink. We have beer and whiskey now. And the blanks, let's leave the 3. And you can see that automatically the count is 9. The total is 63,700. So I believe that right now you understand that working with tables is easier. All right, so when you're done with this filter, you want to see everything, go ahead and select this other option. Clear filter from favorite drink. Now it's selecting favorite drink because the filter is on favorite drink, but you can filter it by any other means, and you have to clear that away. You can also filter by any of these options that you have here. You can filter by gender, say, let's say female alone. We want to see those who are female. We have 23 female, and the total amount spent by the lady or the female gender is 124,000 from the table here. I do hope that we all understand up to this point. All right, so we can also filter this by, okay, I was already filtered this by the female gender. You can filter it by multiple criteria. So right now, we only filter by female gender. Now let's go ahead and filter by the network also and say female. Oh, okay, sorry, I see rice and stew here. I know ladies like rice and stew. So let's say we want to look at female who selected rice and stew, right? And then we will now select this and select only white rice and stew, then select OK. Now you can see that from the 80 something total people in the data set, only 6 ladies said they prefer rice and stew as breakfast. And funny enough, all of them even eat at home. Interesting. All right, so you can filter data by multiple criteria. All right, let's also filter this and say we want to select. Okay, in fact, all of them, they don't used to drink plenty of soft drink. So in the last 7 days, I think the highest they consumed was two bottles of soft drink. That's very impressive. Okay, so but we can go ahead and say, for everybody, both male and female, let's see those who have consumed at least 4 bottles of soft drink. Maybe we need to talk to them. At least 4 bottles of soft drink. So we'll just go to that particular column and then unselect all of these. So at least we said 4. It's 4 too much. Let's say 3, so we can have enough data. So all of these people now, from the 80 plus people, this set of people have these 9 people have consumed at least 3 bottles of soft drink. So we can just go ahead and tell them that this person has actually consumed 5. This person has consumed 5 in the last 7 days. Maybe these people should actually cut down on the kind of soft drink or the number of soft drinks they take weekly. So we can see that this is how you can, with tables, some level of analysis is easier than working with the regular Excel sheet or the regular Excel data. I do hope that we all understand this much. So right now, let's take questions from the house. If anyone has questions, let's take questions from the house. Okay, do we all understand up until this point?
Sorry, hello. So my question is, if we need to calculate the price of these items, how do we go about it?
The price of the item.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
I'm just going to clear this filter first.
Okay.
Then we do that. All right, so to get your price for the items, go back to your design tab. If your total row here, if the total row here is not checked, go ahead and check it. And then go to the bottom of your table, right? you will see this column here, this row here. Then go ahead and select the column for price. For example, this one. Go ahead and select this arrow, select sum. Whichever, okay, there's another price here. Go ahead and select this, select sum. Right, so this is the total amount that is spent. And you can filter this data by whatever or any of the criteria available. So let's check out how much everybody spends on MTN. I select this, select MTN alone, and select OK. So this is the total that we spent on MTN. And you can see that we are doing all of this without doing any calculations, any functions, or any formulas. All right, so our time is almost up. I'm going to say this. If the class goes off, let's all reconnect using the same group link again and the same invite link again. So we'll continue from wherever we stopped. I do hope I answered your question.
Yes, thank you.
Or you still don't understand, or you want to make use of a formula to do that.
I think this one is easier than that formula. I have to click the row, and then is it right click to check for this?
No.
When we select the row, are we going to right click?
It's all left
to give
click.
us the okay, left click. Okay.
Yes.
Thank you.
All right.